About what's taking place up there in the northeast counties, and they're expected to get the worst of this weather.
Yeah, they're really in the bullseye. We want
Yeah.
to check in with 11 Alive's Angelina Salcedo in Helen tonight. Are you feeling a shift in the weather start there?
Yes, we have definitely started to feel the shift in the weather here, you guys. And as we did our last live hit at around 6 o'clock, it had started to rain, but that drizzle was very, very small. Now the drizzle has picked up, and I will tell you that that little drizzle actually feels like tiny little ice pellets, so you can hear them falling on the ground. I want you to take a look so that you can see kind of what it looks like. My photographer, Sean, is actually going to pan up to the tree so that way you guys can see the precipitation that has been coming down here. So this precipitation will start kind of at the top of our trees because those are some of the things that are the highest elevated. When it touches those trees, if they're cold enough, then it will freeze. And overnight, as these temperatures fall, that's probably likely what we are going to see, is that things will freeze from the top down. Now, eventually, it's going to end up coming down to the roads, and that's what the emergency managers are really concerned about. We did speak to people throughout the day who had been preparing. Really, this was their very last day to prepare, or final hours for them to prepare before deciding to hunker down and choosing which spot it is that they're going to be in before the impacts really ramp up here. But there are some people who are visiting as well. Right now we're in the city of Helen. We know that people visit Helen, Georgia quite often. Earlier we were in Cleveland, and there is a family that is actually visiting from Colorado. They're actually kind of excited because they haven't seen any winter weather in Colorado, but they are heeding the warnings as well.
Well, we're kind of excited. We haven't had any weather in Denver. It's been very mild and warm, so we're kind of excited for this storm. Sounds like everyone is very concerned about the ice here. Sounds like there's salt, but from where I come from, there's plows, so we don't have to worry about any of that. So it sounds like a little bit different preparation here.
A little bit of different preparation would be correct. I can tell you that a lot of the roads that the public works crews could get to, and the main roads for GDOT have been pre-treated before we start to see the impacts continue to ramp up. Right now, what we're currently seeing is sleet. So that is obviously going to change over, and that will end up, when it hits the roads, it will end up freezing overnight as well, because the temperatures are going to drop here so quickly. When we talk about the emergency management team, they have finally finished their preparations and what they were going to do. Right now, they're currently in condition monitoring mode. So basically what that means is that they will monitor the conditions from now until the end of this situation, and then they will also be putting out a report in the morning to let people know what this looks like when the sun comes up, because by then they are anticipating that we will see some downed trees, down power lines, but they're hoping that the ice isn't as bad as forecasted. We'll just have to see in the morning what that looks like.
You know, Angelina, you did a great job kind of showing us the visual when you and your photographer showed us that tree. And I said to Ron, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. You know, the kind of this first wave of a little bit of sleet. We talked to GDOT up in Dallas, Dalton, Rome, the area. They are seeing some of this sleet and freezing rain. And Angelina, we know how quickly that can accumulate on the trees and the power lines. And the weight of that is what we're all kind of waiting to see what happens next, right?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, when they're talking about what the impacts could look like here when it comes to the ice, they're talking about probably 3/4 of an inch or an inch or more of ice. That weight on a power line is really could be something that could be destructive. We actually have linemen that are staying at our hotel here in Helen, and they are scattered all throughout White County as well. But there are a whole bunch of them that are staying here. And I heard that we were speaking to someone with lineman crews as well, who says that the manpower is really coming from even different states. So the crews that are here, we have some that are coming from Florida, South Carolina, South Georgia as well, and they're all staying here kind of waiting and monitoring what this is going to look like. If it doesn't get too bad, once we get closer to around 12 a.m., they'll probably take a quick little nap, kind of similar to what we do, and then they'll get back out on the road, figure out where it is that they need to do, figure out where it is that they need to go, and then restore power as quickly as possible.
All right, and just for context, Angelina, you're about 90 miles from us here in Atlanta as this system is moving from the north down.
Down here. Yeah, absolutely.